Republican state senator and gubernatorial candidate Bill Brady campaigned in town recently. This is the second time the Bloomington native is running for governor. He finished third in the 2006 primary. Brady sat down with NCTV 17's Chris Casquejo to talk about issues important to you.
You finished third in the primary in 2006. What have you learned from that experience, and why do you want the job as governor?
We learned that in order to win a statewide election in Illinois, people have to become comfortable with you, and they need to meet you more than one time. Number one issue facing Illinois is jobs. As a businessman, frankly the only businessman in this race, I know how important it is that government supports business investment and doesn't contradict it.
The state is facing, by some estimates, an $11 billion budget deficit, and you've called for state agencies to cut funding by 10%. Does this mean cutting essential services?
First of all, reasonable people understand that Illinois' taxes and fees have become some of the most burdensome of any state in the nation. Well, I've called for $1 billion in tax cuts, but I've also called for a $2,100 incentive, a new job tax credit for every business that creates a new job. The average job brings with it $4,200 in revenue immediately to the state. I want to help give those businesses the incentive to invest in Illinois jobs by giving them back half of the first year.
And now the tough economy has cities like Naperville looking to Springfield, lawmakers there to reduce or do away with some of its pension obligations. What are your views on this issue?
I've called for a 401k system for any future employees. But we do have an obligation to take care of existing employees, morally and legally. So I've called for refinancing the debt so that we have a fully funded pension program.
After the last two governors left office in disgrace, what are you going to do to make sure that a Brady administration is ethically sound?
I've built a business for the last 27 years, and that business has been above reproach. As a legislator, my background, you can't find me tied to any scandals. I've led a life and an example of integrity, and I'll do that as governor.
In 2006, State Senator Brady finished with 18% of the vote in the Republican primary. Chris Casquejo, Naperville News 17.
The latest poll shows Brady in a three-way tie with State Senator Kirk Dillard and former state GOP Chair Andy McKenna, and is roughly 15% behind frontrunner Jim Ryan. And just a reminder, the primary is on Tuesday, February 2nd.